Hello 8th grade science students. Today this video will be about asexual reproduction. These are the notes you need to take on whatever paper you have. You will be using these notes in the future on worksheets and tests, so I would be sure to take them. They are worth a grade, so make sure that you have them and are able to show them to me in the next class period, or you can take a picture and send them to me, either email or upload them to this Google assignment. On your notes, the title for today will be Reproduction. And you may want to pause this video at any time to write down the notes in case I'm talking too fast or writing too fast. You're going to want to put the date on here. All right, we're going to talk about reproduction today. And no, this is not health class. This is reproduction in your science class. And we're going to relate it back to DNA and how animals reproduce and how they share their DNA. It's not all the same. When you think about reproduction, you probably think about, hey, my dog had my dog had puppies. Well, that's a little bit different. So we're going to talk about a form of reproduction. It is called asexual reproduction. And you need to write this down. Okay? I'm going to underline it because it's a big topic. And asexual. I'm going to draw a little arrow, asexual right here. I want you to write down that it means without sex. So, in order to reproduce asexually, you do not have to have a male and a female. There's a lot of things to know about asexual reproduction, but we're going to go through some major characteristics. So, underneath asexual reproduction, I'm going to write some bullet points. And here's my first bullet point. So asexual reproduction is when an identical offspring, and remember, offspring means child. This is an I. Splits off from the parent. And I mean that. When I say splits, I mean that it splits off. And it can do it in a couple different ways, which we'll get to. And your other keyword here is identical. So it's identical, meaning it's just like its parent. Next bullet point. There are no separate sexes. And what I mean is there are no female and no male. Everything is, there is no such thing when you're talking about an animal that can reproduce asexually. You don't have to have a mom and dad to get a child in this form of reproduction. So basically, here's how it works. When something reproduces asexually, it basically copies its DNA and splits. So within its own body, it copies its own DNA and then it goes through the split. And we're going to talk about types of asexual reproduction next. And we're going to watch some videos that show the splitting, or what they call binary fission and budding. So go ahead and copy this down. I'm going to switch pages because I'm on my iPad and I don't have any more room. Obviously, you can keep writing on your sheet of paper. So let's talk about types. So there's several types of asexual reproduction. We're going to talk about two today. The first one we're going to talk about is called binary fission. Binary fission. And it sounds super hard, but it's not. It just means dividing in half. And there are things out there that do this. And our example that we're going to see today in a video is the amoeba. And I'm hoping you remember amoeba from 7th grade science. Amoeba are animal-like protists. They're called protozoans that live like in pond water, dirty water. They have a nucleus. They look like kind of a blob, something out of a scary movie. So what we're going to do is at the end of this video, we're going to take a look at amoebas and the other example that I'm going to give you. So the next type of binary fission is called budding. It's called budding. And it's when basically a new organism. So an organism is something that's living, like you are an organism, your dog is an organism. Things that are alive but you can only see under a microscope are organisms. Begin to grow out of the side of the parent organism. And our example that we're going to take a look at is something called the hydra. So press pause at any time, get these notes copied. I've told a little bit of a lie. I'm going to put the videos for the amoeba and the video for the hydra in Google Classroom. You'll watch those in a separate video and you'll answer some questions about each video. All right, guys, make sure these are copied. You can email them to me. You can show me them in class. You can upload them to this Google Classroom assignment, whatever way you want to do it. All right, thanks, guys. Goodbye.